The National Assembly, or NA's 8th Legislature, concluded its inaugural session on Friday, the 22nd of April. The 3-day sitting elected the country's new leaders, including the President, Vice President, and Prime Minister. It is said that this session is considered an extremely important because it's decided on and adopted key changes. The National Assembly's, or NA's 8th Legislature, began its 3-day inaugural session from Wednesday to Friday with members re-electing Madame PanyYathotou to a second term as the Assembly's President and electing Party Secretary General BounnhangVorachit as the head of state. The election, which were televised live nationwide by Lao National Television Channel 1 and 3, come after the election of members of the National Assembly's 8th Legislature and Provincial Assemblies, which took place on March 20th. During their first session, National Assembly members re-elected the Vice President of the 7th Legislature, Madame PanyYathotou. Also elected as Vice Presidents were Lieutenant General Sengnuan Sanyalat, Dr. Bunporn Buttanavong, and Madame Sisai Ludet Munson. Party Secretary General Mr. BounnhangVorachit was elected as President of the Lao PDR and permanent member of the Party Central Committee Secretariat. Pankamvit Pavan was elected Vice President after they were nominated by the National Assembly Standing Committee. The National Assembly also approved the election of Mr. Thonglun Sisulit as Prime Minister and Mr. Buntong Jitmani, Dr. Sonsai Sipandon, and Mr. Somdi Duangdi as Deputy Prime Ministers. In addition, Mr. Kamsan Suvong and Mr. Kampan Siti Dampa were re-elected as President and Head of Office of the Supreme People's Prosecutor and President of the Supreme People's Court, respectively. The structure of the new government remains unchanged and comprises 18 ministries and 3 ministry equivalent bodies. President Jumali Sayason is retired after completing 2 consecutive presidential terms. The amended Article 66 of the Constitution states that the President of the Lao PDR may hold office for no more than 2 consecutive terms. The expected change in state leadership comes after the change in the party leadership that took place during the 10th Party Congress in January this year. Other former Politburo member who retired from the party during the 10th Party Congress were Prime Minister Thongsin Thamawong and Deputy Prime Minister Somsavat Lengsavat and Asang Laoli. The 3-day session also considered and approved the draft development vision until 2030, the draft development strategy until 2025, and the draft 8th 5-year National Socio-Economic Development Plan 2016-2020, as well as the draft 5-year budget. Under the law on the National Assembly, the Assembly's inaugural session should take place within 60 days of the election of new Assembly members. The election of members to the 8th Legislature took place earlier than usual this year. In the past, the election has occurred in April, followed by the first session of the Assembly on June or July. This year's National Assembly election took place on March 20th, with the body's first session to be held just 30 days afterwards. All 149 members of the National Assembly's 8th Legislature have attended the session, which ran from April 20th to 23rd.